I originally heard a radio programme by a journalist called Judy Mavazan. It was an arts programme about Hulme in Manchester, and for some strange reason I was looking for a story and I contacted her. She worked for the BBC, and amazingly she came back to me and she said if I came to Manchester she'd show me around Hulme. It was too dangerous, in her opinion, for me to just turn up there and wander around on my own. So she kindly took me around, introduced me to people, and from that point on I decided that was the story for me. You know, I did the project between 1991 and 1994. I was working on the pitch desk at the Observer newspaper as a picture editor, picture researcher, part-time, and then when I wasn't working for them, I'd go to Manchester every 2 or 3 weeks. So I lived in London, but the story was in Manchester. It was a very dangerous place at the time that I was there, so it wasn't good to walk around with camera equipment. So although now I would go there and I'd want to shoot it on medium format or even 5:4, at the time it was too risky to look like a photographer. So I used to walk around with a camera in a plastic carrier bag and just one lens on me at a time. So I'd choose a lens for the day and then probably regret the fact that I didn't have another lens. And particularly somewhere like Manchester, somewhere which was a grey concrete housing estate. It was more about texture, and I don't know, it just seemed the right medium. Picture in the front window which says bookmakers still open. It feels like the place has been bombed. It's not, but yet people were living there. And a lot of people were very fond about Hulme. They weren't, I think for a lot of people there was a really strong sense of community. Exciting things actually came out of Hulme and the Crescent. So there were unofficial nightclubs and art galleries, and there was quite an interesting underground art scene that led to things like Factory Records and the Hacienda. The bathtubs that were put out for recycling, again, that was just one of those weird things that visually I'm drawn to. I like visually odd things, and the bathtubs, the mannequin with the pigeons, they're quite odd. Pictures that we've printed large are the iconic images for me. The picture of the kids with the knee pads and arm pads on, it's an image I'm really fond of. I'm just drawn to the fact that there's something very innocent about them, very normal, very childlike, in a place that was quite interesting to live in, quite difficult. Yeah, I feel tragically that this project is as relevant now as it was then, probably more so. I mean, it was a disastrous architectural project. You know, that within 20 years of it being opened, it was pulled down. The scale of waste, of money and trauma to people. I mean, housing and home should be a really basic right. It should be something really fundamental, something really simple. And we have more homelessness now. We haven't sorted this problem out at all. So for me, this is key. It's always been a key thing in my work. It feels a total injustice that something as basic as housing is transient. It made me bring the work to Bayer to think about getting it printed or scanned, and 25 years on, it's really nice to see the work out of a box, out from under my bed, and on the walls for people to see. So thank you, Bayer.